during the lecture. So anyway, I respect the answer given by 42% of people. So accordingly, I will give maximum number, but I cannot predict that exact 9 number, 10 number, 11 number, yeah, 5 number. I cannot predict, but I will try my level best to add more polls during the lecture time. Okay. I am very much interested to give more questions, Vishal, but let me see according to the time convenience, how the time permits us to do it. We will do it. Now I'll stop it, and now we'll go to the topic. And yesterday we stopped over here. We were talking about the transcribing units. Okay. Yesterday our point was that transcription unit, and this is what you exactly see over here. And you know, the picture is also moving on, so you can come to know. So 3 important components are there. That is what we have seen in a transcription unit. What are those 3 components there in a transcription unit? Come on, write the first letters there in the chat box fast. Yes, promoter, structure genes, and terminator. Very good. Okay. So this is what we have seen yesterday. And this picture also you have seen. So I think this part is very much clear to you. In examination, suppose if any 2 marks questions are coming there, then you would be able to answer it, I hope. Now, this also we have seen. In this, some 2 technical terms you have to remember. One technical term I said, coding strand. Otherwise it is also called a sense strand. And the other one is the anti-sense code and anti-sense strand. Now this also we have seen, so I don't want to stick to this particular point now. We'll go to the next slide. The next slide, what it says that suppose actually we were supposed to take this part, but yesterday I could not. And what it says here, the transcription and the gene. Now in this particular point, you are going to learn, or in this slide, you are going to learn some technical terms. See in the picture, some change you can see in between. Very dhyan se dekhna wo, observe it very properly. Otherwise, you may not be able to see because the timing is very, very less in that. Okay. So 2 technical terms right now. You can see over here. The first one is there on the screen now. What is a gene? What is a gene? You know that we always say genes are controlling the characters. Each and every character is controlled by genes, we say. Then this also we say that genes are located there in DNA. Everything is absolutely correct. But what do you exactly mean by a gene? What do you exactly mean by a gene? So now if you look at over here, normal knowledge is written there on the screen. That is functional unit of inheritance is known as gene. What is gene? That is our basic knowledge. Functional unit of inheritance. But when you study this, even the previous slide, when you studied, you can say what something. Genes, you can define or you can explain or you can say what it is in a little more sense point. I mean, little more sense point means now look at them. You know that from the DNA, the messenger RNA is synthesized, and that messenger RNA is synthesized by a particular process called transcription. In that, a particular segment of the DNA is transcribed. Not the entire DNA is transcribed. Only a particular segment of the DNA is transcribed. That transcribed part of DNA we can say are structural genes. Because that gene, Chandini, you want to say something? You please use the chat box. That would be better. If you are using chat box, no, I can respond very quick rather than what you can say, raising hands. So when I see the chat box in the questions I see in the chat box, no, In between, I will give the answer for that. Okay. So what we say, structural genes are there. What is structural gene? Structural gene means a gene or a area of gene that is representing a particular protein. A protein is what? A character we can say. A particular trait we can say. So the structural gene is responsible for the character. That structural gene, in one sense, we can say that is the gene. A gene which represents a protein. Okay, now look at there what is written there. The DNA sequence code. That sequence code is for either messenger RNA, it can be for the formation of transfer RNA, or it can be from ribosomal RNA. And that particular coding, particular sequence, we call as gene. Now look at over here, you can see. Okay, let me change my pointer over here. See, now you see here, sometimes you can, yeah. Now one part is projected over here from this end to this end. Only from this, this is the entire DNA. But you see a particular section, from this section to this section, they are marking something. What is marking there? This is the structural gene. This is the gene. Because this much area is representing a particular protein. That is a particular character. And how it representing by the nitrogen bases, that is also shown over there. You see, nitrogen bases are arranged in a particular sequence. So this particular region we call as a gene. So remember, the DNA sequence coding for any RNA, whether it is messenger RNA or transfer RNA or ribosomal RNA, that is considered as a gene. Is it clear to you, my friends? Is it clear to you? Now what I want to say that when the DNA, now you see this is the DNA, that DNA is subscribing, or I mean transcribing, and then a protein is synthesized. So this DNA is synthesizing a protein. But in the DNA, you can notice that there is a coding which decides this protein. So remember, this is a DNA. In this DNA, there is a coding like this. Coding is, that is 3 nitrogen base reading code it is. I will show you that in the next slide. So 3 nitrogen base coding, you can see so many codings you can see here. And all these codings representing a particular type of protein. The end product of this transcription translation is that a protein. This is the protein, you just imagine. Okay, this is the product, this is the protein. But you see that this protein representing codon, a code which is over here on the DNA, we say cistron. Technical term number 2. Cistron. What is cistron? The cistron, we can say the segment of DNA coding. Okay, the segment of DNA coding for a particular protein, particular polypeptide is known as cistron. You got it clearly, friends? So what is a gene? A gene is a DNA coding sequence. A DNA coding sequence is known as gene. Then in that gene, there is a 3 nitrogen base coding. That coding, each code we can say as a cistron. Is it clear? I'm not getting any response from the chat box. Yes, good. Now you see what is next. So what it says that the structural gene, when transcribing, this is considered as one unit. The entire structural gene is considered as one unit. Okay, and that one unit we can say as monocistronic. Now look at this chart. In this picture you can see this is a eukaryotic messenger RNA. In this eukaryotic messenger RNA, you remember the messenger RNA is having a head, having a tail, that we will see at the end of this So just the picture comes in between. That is why I'm saying that point. This is a head of the messenger RNA. This is the tail of the messenger RNA. But in between the head and the tail, there is a region. अभी इधर brown color में जो दिखाया है. So this is the structural gene. This is the representative for the particular protein. Now this part is deciding a protein. If it decides only one protein, that means one structural gene means one protein. So in this case, one structural gene, it represents only one type of protein, only one protein, not even one type, not only one protein. So this structural gene representing one protein, then it is called as monocistronic. Then we can say this is monocistronic. That means mono means one. If mono means one, that means from that transcription, you get only one DNA, one protein. Got the point clearly? Mostly in all eukaryotes, for each protein, there is a one specific structural gene. That means it is monocistronic. Whereas you come to prokaryotes, this is a prokaryotic messenger RNA. So in a prokaryotic messenger RNA, you can see that there are many structural genes. See here, this is one unit. This is another unit. On one DNA itself, there is one, messenger RNA. From one messenger RNA, you can get many types of proteins. In this case, what happens? From the DNA, RNA is synthesized, but that RNA contains only one representative. And one protein only you get from there. But when you come to prokaryotes, the messenger RNA which is formed, it is having different units. That means simply we can say this is one cistron. We can say here 3 cistrons are there. This is one cistron. This is another cistron. And this is another cistron. So 3 cistrons you can see in one messenger RNA itself in prokaryotes. Then it is called as polycistronic. And each cistron representing one protein. Now, in this case, you look at here one cistron is there, you get one protein. Here another cistron is there, that is also giving another protein. Then third cistron is there, that gives again another type. So 3 types of proteins, 3 different types of proteins you get from one messenger RNA. In case of prokaryotes, then it is called as polycistronic. Poly means many. Whereas in eukaryotes, one cistron, and that gives you one protein only. If second type of protein is required, then again they need another type of messenger RNA. They need another type of messenger RNA. So in this slide, I told you 4 technical terms. 1, what is a gene? Is it clear? Second, cistron. Third, monocistronic. Example, eukaryotes. And fourth is then polycistronic. Example, prokaryotes. Example, is it clear to you? Any doubt you have in this part? Shall I go to next slide? Okay, I'm going to next slide now. Now you just look at here, one important point. This is a eukaryotic DNA. Okay, or eukaryotic DNA or eukaryotic gene we can say. Now, in this eukaryotic DNA, you can see that, I think otherwise I will tell you one important point. Heterochromatic and euchromatic. In DNA, you studied that there are heterochromatic bands and euchromatic bands. Remember that? Light stained area, dark stained area. So this is exactly representing over here. Okay. So what you can see here in eukaryotic gene, the structural gene, if you observe, this is the structural gene because this is the promoter. Here the terminator is there. So between the promoter and terminator, whatever is there, that is called structural gene. Am I right? Am I right, friends? Okay. So, and this structural gene, we can say That is monocistronic, because the whole structural gene is representing one protein. How many types of protein it will represent? Please write down in the chat box the number. How many types of protein this structural gene will represent? Only one. That is why it is called a monocistronic. Clear? But if you observe this structural gene very closely, you can see that the structural gene is not continuous. You can see that some kind of interruption, some kind of break you can see in between. Now you see this is one structural gene only, but in between the structural gene you see a gap like this. What do you call this gap? What is written there? What is written there? You see gap over here, a cut over there. Yes, it is written there as intron. That means in eukaryotic structural gene, if you look at, you can see that that is not continuous because it is interrupted. The coding sequences are interrupted. How it is interrupted? By means of split. What do you call it as? We can say as split. Cut ho gaya. ये actually continuous होना चाहिए था. It should be continuous. But what happened? Because of a split, because of a cut, you can see that the structural gene is got interrupted. Okay. Now look at this picture. Okay. Now I'm talking about this one. And you can see that when this particular structural gene with the split is transcribed, or the transcription has been taken place, you get an RNA like this. Now this is called primary RNA. What do you say? This is the primary RNA. But remember, this primary RNA is exact replica of this one in the complementary manner. So if there is a cut over here, that cut you can see here also. So instead of talking on this slide, I mean this picture, I'm talking on this picture because the same thing you can see, because this is the nuclear RNA. This is the primary RNA synthesized from the DNA by transcription. So whatever is there over here, same replica you can see here. Only difference is that it is representing the coding sequence only, or it is complementary. So primary RNA. This primary RNA, look at, is the same split you can see over here also. On the primary RNA also, you can see the same, what you can see? The same cuttings, same split. And this RNA is also known as heterogeneous nuclear RNA, or hnRNA. hnRNA. What I said? What I said now? Friends, you please write down in the chat box what I said. hnRNA. What does it mean? Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA, because this RNA representing the DNA as it is, because it is having the split. Now I want to tell you two technical terms from this slide. I mean from this particular point. What is that one? Now you see this is the gene. The blue color what you see over here, that is called the gene sequence, the coding sequence. Okay, the blue color what you see over here, that is called coding sequence. This coding sequence is the one which exactly we want. This is called exons. What do you call this one? The coding sequence is known as exons. So how many exons are there here? Count here. How many exons are there? 3 exons are there. Actually, we want these exons only. Actually, we want the exons, and these exons are representing the amino acid. This exon will decide what kind of proteins to be synthesized. But in this condition, if you look at, you can say this coding is not continuous. There is a break in between. There is a gap in between. There is a split in between. And what do you call this split? The split or interrupted part, that is called intron. So exon is what? The coding sequence. And interrupted region is called as the intron. How many introns here? How many introns here? 2 introns are there. Now remember, in this RNA, because of the presence of introns, proteins cannot be synthesized. Proteins cannot be synthesized because of the split in the coding, because of the break in the coding. So, what is important over here? The primary RNA or the HN RNA, they have to go for maturity, a process we call as maturity, then only it can synthesize protein. Because this is there in the initial stage, in the primary stage. In the primary stage, the nuclear RNA, the HN RNA is having interruptions, so they cannot synthesize protein. They cannot synthesize protein. So what is must? These introns must be removed. Okay. Once these introns removed, the exons will be continuous then. Now you look at over here. Once these introns are removed, the exons 1, 2, 3 come together, then it is continuous. In this case, it is discontinuous. In this case, it is continuous. So, every time, once the HN RNA or the primary RNA is formed, this RNA should go for a process. Okay, it should go for what? I said, it should go for what? Hi friends, right, it should go for a process. That process we can say as splicing. In the next point we will see that. The processing is called as splicing. So splicing is actually what it may be. ये क्या हो सकता है? ये introns, जो introns उसमें है, सभी introns को remove करना है. So when the introns are removed, that process इधर लिखा है RNA processing. You understand right now like that only. The next what I can say, ender, you will get the correct word. Splicing we call it as actually. So RNA processing is done, and then you get what? An RNA without any introns. This RNA is matured RNA. This is actually known as the messenger RNA. Is it clear to you now? This is the messenger RNA. And this messenger RNA, now it can synthesize protein. Okay, you got it clear? So once the structural genes of DNA transcribing an RNA, that is called primary RNA or heterogeneous nuclear RNA, and that is after processing, all the introns are removed and only the exons will be there, and that is called the final matured RNA, or we can say messenger RNA. So in the messenger RNA, only exons are there. What is exon? What is exon? Please write down in the chat box. What is exon? Come on fast. Coding sequence, not protein. It's a coding sequence. Exons are the coding sequence that producing the protein. Okay. Now you see the next point. So इधर का पॉइंट मैं आपको अभी रिपीट करके नहीं बोलूंगा, और फाइनली मैंने सब कुछ बता दिया. देखिए ये रेड कलर में जो दिखता है, व्हाट इज दैट? व्हाट इज सीन हियर इन रेड कलर? प्लीज राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स. व्हाट इज सीन हियर इन रेड कलर? Introns. These are introns. Now these introns we have to remove by processing. See here, what is written here? The introns we can, exons we can say that is the active part, that is taking part there in protein synthesis, and introns are inactive part. Inactive, they are not active. Genes may be there in that, but it is not active. Heterogeneous, I'm sorry, what I can say, eukaryotic and oh, not even eukaryotic, one technical term, heterochromatin and euchromatin you studied. Please go and see there. Okay, so there you can see the point. That is not an active part. The introns are not an active part. It is not taking part anywhere. Okay, so only the exons are working. That is the active part. That is the coding part. So if exons are there, now you see there is a question like that. why introns are removed. Now I will tell you one thing. Now you just imagine that you all are doing. Now you see some 35, 40 students over here. Okay. So now I am telling you, all of you do one assignment. Okay. Now some of you are very active and performing the assignments. Even you just imagine that how many online tests you have done. The reproduction topic, human reproduction topic assignment, I mean online tests are given. None of you answered so first, I mean attempted that. Then inheritance, Annex Madam's chapter, that also given. I don't know why you people are not doing it. If Annex Madam and Nanda Madam doing giving, then only you will do it or not. I don't know. So that may be the response I understand. Okay, because you are not responding. But my question is that some 30 students are there, 40 students are there. I'm giving an assignment. Some of you are even see some 20 students are very active in and solving these questions. 10 students are simply passive over there. They are not doing anything. So if they are not doing anything, the remaining 20 students, if you are doing together, 30 students doing it together, 20 students are very active in completing the project, and you are all doing it together. You just imagine that way. That is a project work for you. So 20 students are active and 10 students are very active, not active at all. So what the 20 students will think? Let them continue, or what do you say? What do you say, friends? 20 students are very active in completing a project, and 10 students are not active. They are not participating. They are simply sitting over there. They are not doing any work. They are not helping you people, other people to complete the work, and whatever work they are. So answer is one only. You remove them. Remove those 10 students, those who are very passive, those who are not involved, those who are inactive, and remaining 20 students will do it actively and they will complete it. So if 10 students are there, those inactive 10 students are there, it will affect the work, yes or no? It will affect the work. It will affect the work of other 20 students. So we have to remove them. This is the same thing here. The protein is synthesized based on a language. So in between the language, like a pause, these introns are there. If these introns are there, then the protein cannot be synthesized in a proper manner. So introns should be removed. So once the introns are removed, you get a complete matured RNA. That is called messenger RNA. And this removal of introns from the primary RNA is known as splicing. Got the point clearly now? Look at here. So that is called a splicing. So once the splicing is over, yes. So once the splicing is over, you get a complete matured messenger RNA. Then it can synthesize the protein. Then the translation can be done perfectly. Otherwise, the translation process is not proper. Okay. That is why we have to remember that in a messenger RNA, only exons will be there. Only, ये आपको ध्यान में रखना है ये point. In a primary RNA, both exons and introns are there, but in messenger RNA, the introns will not be there. Only exons are there because splicing already done. Because of splicing, only what is there? Only what is there? Exons are there. Okay, you got the point clearly. Now look at this slide. Okay, just look at this slide clearly. Now what is saying here? What I said before in the previous slide, what I explained, everything is shown over here. And even you can get some answer for your doubt also. Now look at here, coding region. We are talking about DNA to RNA primary transcription. Now you see this is the DNA. DNA contains inactive region, active region. This is active region. Active region means that is the coding region. Inactive region means there where there is no coding. There is no genes, there is no coding, there is means no coding. That is the point. No non-coding region. Okay, no codes are there. Okay, and now what do you do? Just look at all the points. Repeat करके बोलता हूँ मैं. Now you see what is the second point has come over there. Just look at and what is written down the chat box. Quickly you write in the chat box. What is the second point? First one, primary transcription. That is from the DNA, primary RNA is formed. Second is that, look at here, splicing. Yeah, removal of introns. That is what is called a splicing. Then once the splicing is done, you can see that only, now you see this splicing is removed. I mean, this intron is removed. Intron remove किया, ये ऐसा hang हो गया, ये hang हो गया, ये hang हो गया. So three exons are at not continuous. So now what happens? This exon and this exon, once it is removed, it will come together. It has to be joined. So similarly, once it is removed, this one removed, this should join with this. So all the exons after splicing, all the exons are joining together. For that, an enzyme is required. What is the name of the enzyme written here? What is the name of the enzyme written there? Not ligament, mistakes. Ligase enzyme. So by using DNA ligase enzyme, all these exons are getting joined. And then once this ligase enzyme worked, what happens? You get the messenger RNA. That is what is called the matured RNA. Okay. Now look at the point again over here. The same things only I'm repeating. So you should not forget it. This is examination point of view important. You should remember always. Now you see this blue color, dark blue color mein jo hai, that is what is called introns. Or splicing kar diya, or ligase enzyme usko join kar diya, you got mature transcript which we call as messenger RNA, and then it can translate it into proteins. Okay. Now, once this messenger RNA is formed by splicing, something has to be done. Before I go to that, we'll go for a polling. We'll go for a polling. Get ready for the polling now. Now we are going for another poll. A simple poll. What happens with introns after the removal? Once it is removed, that is removed. Then we are not looking what is that. Once it is removed means that is removed, because that is an inactive part. Introns, that is an inactive part. That is a non-coding region. So now you see when you are preparing something, when you are cooking something, so if the waste is removed, then we never see what happened to the waste. Waste is removed means waste is waste. That is removed. So the introns that is removed means that is waste, not useful part. So that has been removed. So removed means removed. Then no idea what will happen to it. Okay. 10 seconds, Baki. 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time over. Okay, now you see only 25 students responded. Only 25 people responded. Now you see your answer over there. And which is the correct answer? Please write them in the chat box. First, write the first letter only. Nucleotide contains no phosphate. No phosphate. Nucleotide contains no phosphate. 64% gave the answer as false, and 36% gave true. And I told you, 25 students only responded. Around 10 students, 11 students, they did not respond. So now remember, okay, here again majority is there. Some few students, they are saying it is no. I mean, it is true. It is true means no phosphate. But remember, nucleotide contains all the three components: sugar, phosphate, nitrogen base. When all these three are there, we call it as nucleotide. But if there is no phosphate, Then also there is a technical term for that. What is the technical term? You remember? What is the technical term? You remember that? If there is no phosphate, only sugar and nitrogen base contains. What do you call it? Nucleoside. Nucleoside. Okay? Nucleoside and nucleotide. Nucleoside and nucleotide. Nucleoside means only sugar and phosphate. Nucleotide, sorry, sugar and nitrogen base. And nucleotide means phosphate is also there. Okay? So you got the point. So I stop it now. I'll go to the topic wapas. Okay. Now here we are here. Now what is next? Now the messenger RNA is ready. I told you in one of the session means in between, just a few minutes before, I told you one thing, that there is a capping and a tailing. I will tell you later. That is what I said. Now you see this is the messenger RNA that containing exons, introns, everything. Now when you come to this, you see all introns are removed by a process called splicing. Once the introns are removed, then you have to do a processing which is called capping, and then another one called tailing. Then only you get a complete messenger RNA. Okay. Now what is this capping? Capping means nothing. At 5' end of the messenger RNA, you have to add a particular compound or nucleotide, like that is methylated guanosine triphosphate. Okay. So at 5' end, you are adding methylated guanosine triphosphate. At which end you are doing it? At which end you have to add it? At which end? Friends, you write down the chat box. Which end? 5' end. At 5' end, what do you have to be added? Methylated guanosine triphosphate. Methylated guanosine triphosphate. And this process is called capping. Now you see here red color में आपको जो दिखता है इधर, red color में आपको जो दिखता है, that is called the capping. Okay. And once the capping is done, on the other end, that is at the 3' end, you have to add something else. What is that? That is polyadenylation. That is called polyadenylation. So polyadenylation you have to do at 3' end. Polyadenylation. Now you see this is what is done over here. This is called tailing. So heading you have to do, that is capping. We call at the head region when you do, it is capping. At the tail region when you are doing, that is called tailing. Okay. So when these two things you have done on messenger RNA, then you got a completely functionable messenger RNA you get. Okay. And that messenger RNA can go for the next process which we call as translation. Okay. Then it can go for translation. Now look at this picture clearly. It is very clear over here. Now this is the pre-messenger RNA. Here capping is done. दोनों yellow color में है. Capping is done. Here tailing is done. Tailing में क्या करता है? Tailing में what should be added? That is polyadenylation. Okay. Heading में क्या? Capping में क्या है? Methylated guanosine triphosphate. ये दोनों add कर दिया और introns निकाल दिया. You got the matured messenger RNA which is ready to synthesize protein. Is it clear to you? Okay, is it clear? But now remember, all these activities are taking place there in the nucleoplasm. All these activities, what all things we have seen so far, it is taking place where? In the nucleus or in the nucleoplasm. That is why it is a heterogeneous nuclear RNA, because inside the nucleus you see this RNA. So it is called heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Why it is called heterogeneous? Because exons, introns, dono present. So it is heterogeneous. But when you come to here, it is not heterogeneous. It is homogeneous because no introns. It is homogeneous. That is why we call it as true messenger RNA. And once the true messenger RNA is formed, then it is, I already told you that it is where it is formed. It is formed there in the nucleus. From the nucleus is having a nuclear membrane. On the nuclear membrane, there are small openings. Am I right? What do you call that small openings which are seen there on the nuclear membrane? What do you call the small openings which are seen on the nuclear membrane? Opening. I'm getting a different answer, but I'm waiting for the correct answer. Nuclear pore. That is called nuclear pore. Okay. So a different answer I got over here, but I'm not saying anything. So you know what answer you have written. So that is called nuclear pore. Through the nuclear pore, this messenger RNA will come out of the nucleus. My question was that nuclear membrane, nuclear envelope is having small openings for the communication between nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. What do you call that opening? The answer of that opening is that nuclear pore. Okay. So through this nuclear pore, the messenger RNA come out into the cytoplasm, because cytoplasm is the place where the protein is synthesizing. Okay. Now look at this slide. This is something like a review. Something like a review means you already studied about it. So that is why I have written there as review. You know types of RNA. How many types of RNA you know? Please write there in the chat box, friends. Yeah, 3 types of RNA is there. What are they? What are they? In between here, yeah, tRNA, messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA. So all the 3 you can see now over here. The first one is coming over there. This is messenger RNA. That is a linear RNA, we can say. Then this is called as the transfer RNA. Okay, this transfer RNA is having a particular shape over there. Okay, we can say it has a 2 shape there. Cloverleaf model is there. And you can see the third type of RNA is that the ribosomal RNA. And that is also very long and I mean, what you can say, regularly coiled over there. So this is called ribosomal RNA. And all the RNAs having their own functions. 3 different types of RNA there. Messenger RNA that carrying the message from DNA to RNA to synthesize the protein. Okay, so messenger RNA is something or it's an RNA that carries the message from DNA to the site of protein synthesis. The site of protein synthesis is cytoplasm, where the specific organ is there, organelle is there. That is the ribosome. There it comes or bringing the message. Transfer RNA is something different. That is also there in the cytoplasm. At the time of protein synthesis, the transfer RNA bringing the amino acid one after the other, bringing the amino acid to the, you know that when a building is constructed, when somebody is sitting over there, I mean architect provide किया उनका blueprint और उसका जो sorry civil engineer, we can notice that by looking the or as per the architect or the blueprint, he is synthesizing. So the जो वर्कमैन जो है वो लोग ब्रिक्स लेके आएगा, जो मिस्त्री वगैरह जो है वो काम करके बैठेंगे. So अलग अलग लोग अलग अलग काम करता है. Similarly here, the messenger RNA bringing the message and transfer RNA bringing the amino acid for protein synthesis, and ribosomal RNA providing all facilities for the synthesis of protein. Now you see that it provides binding site to messenger RNA. Okay. Now there are some enzymes also involved. Before I go to enzymes, again I will go for one more poll. One more poll. Get ready for that. I'm sorry. Next poll. Quick. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. See the result also there. Now you see, very simple. In between, you are checking your knowledge. DNA duplicates during dash phase of cell cycle. 68% people said that S phase, and 18% saying it is M phase, 9% saying G2 phase, and 5% says G1 phase. Remember, last class we have seen that in cell cycle, there are two important phases. One is called mitotic phase, the other one is called interphase. Mitotic phase is called M phase. During mitotic phase, the actual division of the cell takes place. Their prophase is there, metaphase is there, anaphase is there, telophase is there, and then cytokinesis. But when interphase is there, we simply say interphase is the phase during which the cell preparing itself for next division. That is divided into G1, G2 and S phase. And G1 and G2 phase is the phase where the protein synthesis is taking place. G1, G2 phase, we can say their protein synthesis, I mean the transcription. Last day we have seen transcription is taking place. Okay. You know that protein synthesis is having two steps. One is transcription, the other one is translation. We are still talking about transcription. The transcription is taking place during G1 and G2 phase. Then what is happening there in S phase? S phase represents synthetic phase. What is synthesizing? The DNA is synthesizing. So DNA is synthesizing means DNA is replicating. DNA is replicating means DNA is duplicating. So which phase is the correct answer? Which is the correct answer? S phase is the correct answer. Okay. Now we go to the topic. We were talking about the various enzymes involved in transcription. Now you can see that various enzymes involved. Number one, that is called polymerase 1. That polymerase enzyme 1 is there. Polymerase enzyme 2 is there. Yaad rakhna, sab polymerase enzyme only. But difference is that 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay. हम लोगों को नाम के बारे में बोलेगा तो सीनियर जूनियर जो बोलता है ना. ओके. So and so person junior, so and so person senior जो बोलता जैसा. All the enzymes are polymerase enzyme only, but the polymerase enzyme is having serial numbers as 1, 2 and 3. Now polymerase enzyme 1, that is used for the synthesis of ribosomal RNA. So which polymerase enzyme is attached on what you can say on the DNA, accordingly you get the RNA. So polymerase enzyme 1 is attached, then we can notice that there the synthesis is going to be changed. So polymerase enzyme 1, number 1, it gives you ribosomal RNA, and another one is that polymerase number 2. The polymerase number 2 gives you messenger RNA. Remember, messenger RNA you are getting when polymerase 2 come into action. The moment polymerase enzyme number 2 comes into action, you get messenger RNA. But remember, first RNA you are getting is that primary RNA, or it's also called as heterogeneous nuclear RNA, and that heterogeneous nuclear RNA later becomes messenger RNA. Okay, by splicing. Okay, what is the third RNA? Polymerase number 3. The polymerase number 3 is responsible for transfer RNA. Transfer RNA, it is also called a small nuclear RNA. Remember, transfer RNA is comparatively smaller. The longest RNA we can say, the long RNA we can say ribosomal RNA. Then comes the messenger RNA, and shortest RNA or smallest RNA we can say transfer RNA. So this transfer RNA will be synthesized when the polymerase enzyme 3 comes into action. So this slide is clear to you now. How many types of enzymes are involved? Please write them in the chat box. 3 different types of enzymes. Names one only. Only thing you have to remember, serial number. Okay. Polymerase number 1, polymerase number 2, and polymerase number 3. From which polymerase you are getting messenger RNA? From which enzyme you get messenger RNA? Polymerase number 2. Okay. ध्यान में रखना. Now we come to transcription in bacteria. Now you see this is the transcription in bacteria. So everything is same. There is no difference in there. You can see that initiation is there, like eukaryotes. Initiation is there, elongation is there, and termination also there. Okay, and RNA polymerase is coming over there, and sigma factor is there, and there is an RHF factor which determines the termination in bacteria. I want to tell you one important difference. That is why I added this one in the slide. In eukaryotes, you have seen that there are 3 different types of RNAs involved. Okay, polymerase 1, polymerase 2, polymerase 3. Remember, in bacteria is a prokaryotic one, right? In bacteria, there is only one type of polymerase. No 1, 2, 3. Only RNA polymerase. There is no differentiation as 1, 2, or 3. No junior, no senior. Everyone same. Okay. So ये एक point आपको ध्यान में रखना. Second point यही है. In eukaryotes, we have seen when the primary RNA is synthesized. That means when transcription taken place in DNA, RNA is synthesized, but that RNA is useless. When the transcription occurred in eukaryotes, the RNA which is synthesized is useless. Why it was useless? Because of non-coding sequence presence. Because of the presence of non-coding sequence, the RNA which is synthesized from DNA is useless. Okay, and that is why it is called as primary or heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Why it is useless? Because of non-coding sequence. What do you call the non-coding sequence? Please write the name of the non-coding sequence in the chat box quickly. The non-coding sequence present in eukaryotes, yeah, intron. So what to do there? Because of the introns, that messenger RNA is useless. So we want to make it useful. What we have to do to make it useful? The useless messenger RNA has to be made it as useful. What you have to do? You have to remove the intron. What is the technical term? What is the technical term? What is the technical term? Splicing. याद रखना, technical terms याद रखना. So the technical term is called splicing. Okay. But when you come to prokaryotes, such splicing is not there. Such introns are not there. Okay. So you can note the processing is not there. Whatever RNA synthesized from the DNA. Now you look at here, the RNA is synthesizing from the DNA. That is directly functionable. That is directly functionable. That can directly represent protein because no introns, no non-coding sequence, no processing required, no splicing required. So we can say, what we can say, that can be directly useful. Okay. So this is the major difference in transcription in bacteria. Okay. So that point is clear to you. That point is clear to you, friends. So now we have to go for genetic code. And genetic code, before I go for genetic code, we will go for one more poll. We will go for one more poll. Okay, just do it. quick. Do it quickly. Time is going. Only 50%, 53% done. 56 now. 40 seconds. 60% done. 44 seconds. 63%. 47. 66%. Now 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you see in 1 minute time you are doing all these things. I'm sharing the result. Okay, you just look at the answer. Now you see 38% each given answer, DNA helicase and single-stranded DNA binding protein. What is the question? See carefully. Dash prevents recoiling during unwinding of DNA molecule. Okay. Dash prevents uncoiling during recoiling during unwinding of DNA molecule. 38% given me answer DNA helicase. Can you write there in the chat box what is the actual function of DNA helicase? DNA helicase actual function, it helps in DNA helicase. एक पिक्चर भी मैंने आपको दिखाया था बिगिनिंग में रिप्लिकेशन का टाइम. DNA helicase. See, yes, exactly. I got the answer now. Priya, you have done correctly. That your answer is correct. DNA helicase is helping to break the nitrogen bond between, the hydrogen bond between nitrogen bases. Okay. DNA helicase enzyme. You may be remembering that one picture I shown with an arrow mark. There I told you that there are between nitrogen base pairs, bases, hydrogen bonds are there. The 2 hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine, and 3 are there between guanine and cytosine. So it is very much essential to break the bond for unwinding. That is done by DNA helicase enzyme. So here DNA helicase enzyme is a bond breaking enzyme. है ना? कभी कभी घर पे झगड़ा होता है. ये झगड़ा क्या है? घर पे जो बॉन्ड जो है वो बॉन्ड ब्रेक करने का एक मेडिसिन है ना. बॉन्ड ब्रेक करना है तो खाली झगड़ा करने का कुछ ना कुछ कारण झगड़ा होता है. सो ब्रेक होता है, रिलेशन ब्रेक होता है. ओके, सो हेलिकेस इज डूइंग दैट ओनली, breaking the bond. Okay, then DNA, after that DNA ligase, 21% people have given the answer. Okay, 21% people have given me the answer DNA ligase. Now, for what purpose DNA ligase is using? Can you give the answer? DNA ligase is used for what? Yes, Ria has given me the answer. Join not only exons. Priya, yaad rakhna. So it is not only for joining the exons, it is joining the DNA. It's a joining enzyme, just like a Fevicol. So it is for the purpose of joining the fragments of DNA, whether it is exon or whether it is DNA fragment or whatever it is. Okay. Yes, I'll tell you. Then single-stranded DNA binding protein, 38% have given me the answer. Now Vishal can say the answer. Vishal already said the answer. The correct answer is that single-stranded DNA binding protein. Single-stranded DNA binding protein. That is the correct answer. And there is a last answer, SSAP. आपको SSBP मालूम है? SSAP मैंने ऐसा डाल दिया. ये B का जगह पे मैंने ये कन्वर्ट करके डाल दिया. देखो उधर SSAP, वहां भी एक जन रेस्पॉन्ड किया है. क्या नहीं, नो इश्यू. सो मिस्टेक्स होता है. So this is the way you are learning the things. I can give you one more poll now. I'm going to stop this one. One more poll. That is the last poll today. Okay, tomorrow I want to change all these things. That is why I'm finishing up all the questions I added over here. Now the last one. Come on fast. I will give you only 1 minute. I want discipline in this. That is why I'm giving only 1 minute. Only 1 minute you get. 50%, 53%, 53%, 42 seconds, 44, 45 seconds, 47, 9, 8, 7, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Now you see the result. Okay. So the question is that the net electric charge on DNA and histone is the net electric charge on DNA and histones is both positive 30% people. Okay, negative and the positive charge 55% students responded. Then comes positive both positive 30%. Then comes 0 10% and last both negative 5%. Now you see DNA and histone charges मैंने आपको पहले बताया था. Okay, DNA negatively charged and histone that is positively charged. Both positive not correct, both negative वो भी correct नहीं है, both 0 वो भी correct नहीं है. The correct answer is that DNA is always negatively charged. DNA is negatively charged and histones we can say that is positively charged. Okay, that is the correct answer. Okay, I stop the share. Now the polling is over. Today there is no more polling. Now we want to start the topic genetic code. I'm not going to start it today. Tomorrow means that is on Monday. Tomorrow I'm not going to take any class. I want to give you a break. There is a weekend break I'm going to give you. Tomorrow there is a break and Sunday is also off for you. Now directly we meet on Monday. Monday onwards, I'm planning to add more polls. Okay, I respect you. Your suggestions I take. I'll try my level best to add more and more polls. But remember, for each one, I will give you only 1 minute. Why I'm giving only 1 minute? Because there must be a discipline in that. That means if I'm giving time unlimited like that, then there is no meaning in that or meaning in poll. So 1 minute time, 1 minute time, you should finish it. So accordingly, you have to be very cautious, listen properly, see, read the question properly and check the answer. So tomorrow, tomorrow means Monday. Friends, I can take lecture tomorrow also, but I think actually I was supposed to give you a break today. If I'm giving a break today, there will be an issue to to avoid that issue. I'm not giving. I did not give you the break today, so that I'm giving the break tomorrow. Normally, every week I'm giving one extra break in between, but this week also I didn't give. So that is why I thought I will give you the break today. Tomorrow. So directly we will meet on Monday. Again, we will continue. When you are getting tired, you just tell me that I'm tired. We don't want to continue the lecture, or if you want a break, you just give me, because we all have we have all options to communicate to me. You can use your chat. You can use your poll. In poll also in between, I will add that question. How many lecture you want? How many lecture whether you want lecture tomorrow or not, like that. Everything I will do. Add. So there is nothing to worry. So now we will meet on Monday only. So till then, you do all the assignments, all the notes, PowerPoints, whatever I given in the classroom. Go through it and read it, solve it, and study, and spend time for more time for studying all these things, and enjoy yourself at the same time. Take care till then. So tomorrow Monday we'll meet. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice time.